Okay, so for week 7 of winter anime, we got more cool shows coming in. We're actually almost finished with the season. So yeah, a lot more escalations. So things are getting heated. They're setting up more fight scenes or some climaxes. I mean, I'm trying not to climax after watching all these ecchi shows. Chain Soldier's getting pretty hot, gushing over magical girls. There's more like sadistic girls tying people up. And then yeah, there were some recap episodes this week. So no solo leveling episode. But yeah, I'll start talking about some shows I like this week. Starting off with Frieren though, Beyond Journey's End, episode 24. Each episode is insane. I love it so much. There's like cool fight scenes, all this like lore in this dungeon. Very cool. So yeah, we saw those like Frieren, the final boss clone inside this dungeon. So yeah, you gotta face her to win. And no one in history has beaten this dungeon. I guess because the final boss is always some like strong, overpowered person. You kind of need teamwork to beat it, and even then, it's like, you might die. So yeah, we get some lore of this clone, actually. So its name is Spiegel, and it makes like copies out of you from mud or water, and it basically reads your opponent's mind and makes copies of that enemy. So I thought like there'd be a limit of like how much power it would have, but it seems like a perfect copy. So it's basically a perfect copy of Frieren, does exactly what she does, knows her spells. But I mean, I guess this one is that they're like very aggressive. So the clones aren't really distracted by mimics or anything. That's what the real Frieren would be like. But yeah, this clone seems to be like chilling, taking its time. It's on like the very last level of the dungeon. So you have to beat it to win. And Denkin and his team cannot do it. They just can't. So yeah, they like dodge the abilities and then yeah, they run away. So yeah, it's pretty sad. We see Frieren and Fern coming in though. So yeah, they finished exploring the dungeon. Frieren found like this hidden path that no one knew about. They saw like this mural and everything. So a pretty big discovery by her. And then Frieren feels validated because yeah, all her exploration kind of succeeded. And then yeah, they reach the bottom level of the dungeon. They meet up with Denkin and his party with like 4 or 5 people. Frieren does not seem to be stressed at all though. He's like, oh, this seems kind of interesting. A clone of me? Okay. So I was expecting it to be like Frieren versus Frieren, but it seems like they were just like devising a plan to make their odds of success better. So they start thinking like, oh, does this clone have a brain? Can we hypnotize it? Because one of the girls here has like hypnotism magic. Frieren has magic against it, and she's like really strong, so it probably won't work. Also, the clone does not have a brain either, so it really won't work. We also see Fern get jealous because like the hypnotism girl was like trying to use it on the real Frieren to like as like a testing thing. And then she had to like kind of hug Frieren, like wrap her like head on her chest. So yeah, Fern gets like really possessive, pouting faces, very cute. Anyway, they realize, okay, let's just brute force this clone. Who has the biggest magical number who can defeat Frieren? And then Fern is like, oh, maybe I can do it. So yeah, Fern is strong, she's gifted, so she can probably cast magic faster than Frieren, overwhelm her. That's the theory. So yeah, I guess next episode that'll happen. But it is very interesting. Like Fern really wants to kill this Frieren clone, so yo, I'm down. Also after that, we see a side story with like Ubel and then the glasses guy getting cornered by an Ubel clone. So she's kind of like the green-haired murdering girl. So then the glasses dude is injured, but this is actually his clone. Ubel wasn't really sure. So then she basically 1v1s her clone. And the thing is like, since they're evenly matched, it's like down to luck, and Ubel's very unlucky. So the clone kind of beats her and then restrains her. As it was about to kill her, the real glasses guy comes in like through the back, distracts the Ubel clone, and then Ubel like kills the clone. So yeah, I love their interactions. Like they seem to like each other, Ubel and the glasses dude, or like at least it's kind of like Stockholm syndrome. They're getting attached because they hang out so much. The glasses dude just wants to live by himself. I think he has problem trusting people, it looks like. That's why he has his clones. Also, Ubel just wants to understand people, so she will not leave him alone until she understands him. So yeah, good interactions there. We see some people getting defeated in this dungeon. There was like this little girl with like mind control powers. So then yeah, her team was facing off against the Sense clone that has like a lot of hair. So yeah, her hair powers are insane because you got millions of hairs you got to control, and then it's like really impossible to kind of like block or dodge it. So yeah, Frieren kind of continues. I guess next week we'll see Fern kind of murder her teacher, and yeah, that sounds like it's gonna be very exciting. All right, and now for Mashle season 2, episode 7. Very spicy episode, good fight, and we get some lore. So yeah, this is the Divine Visionary exam. It's round 1 where they do just like 1v1 fights. So it's Mash versus Macaron. So yeah, he's like the very unhinged dude. And if you're unhinged, evil, crazy in this world, then they seem to be like very powerful. So yeah, Mash is facing off against him. The problem is Margaret's attacks are just like way too strong. Mash can't really deflect it. Also, some of his attacks are sound based, so Mash can't even block it. It just like kind of destroys his eardrums and goes through him. So Mash keeps trying to like defend against these shots, but he can't. So he's getting bodied. But Mash seems to have super healing because no matter how much damage he takes, he seems to just like heal it, just shake it off. And then yeah, finally, as Margaret was gonna do like this big attack that just like surrounds Mash with sound, Mash actually digs underground in like a second, and then basically kind of like sneaks up against Macaron, buries him, kicks him in the head, uses the quadriceps magic. So yeah, that was nice. But then yeah, it makes Macaron go to phase 2, which is insane because he's gender fluid now. Yes, they get more powers, so he kind of like transitions into like a female, feminine form. So yeah, Macaron now has longer hair and I guess is very strong now. So yeah, Macaron can now like move at the speed of sound, which I guess is typical. So they're kind of snapping, and every time there's a snap, it's like they teleport. So yeah, Mash is having a hard time kind of tracking them down. And then, yeah, basically Mash gets overwhelmed. Macaron kind of goes for a finishing kick, but then Mash kind of grabs the wall. So then, like, we realize that sound travels faster through solid objects. So if Mash grabs, like, the wall, he can kind of, like, feel the sound coming faster than when he's, like, not touching anything. That's a theory, at least. So, yeah, I guess he kind of overwhelms Macaron again. And now Macaron is going to the final form, the second ability. Yeah, which is like everyone's domain expansion or second. We've seen it a lot. So yeah, Macaron's one is like this big sound thing. And you have 2 minutes to kind of catch them, because if you don't, then everyone around the speaker will fall asleep. So yeah, Mash is trying to catch Macaron, break their wand. But yeah, this dude's just like dodging, running away too fast. So then Mash does the same thing he did in season 1 against the like really fast dude with the accelerate power. Basically limit their movement to a straight line. So Mash kind of just like lifts up the ground, so Macaron can't dodge straight. They can only dodge left and right. So then Mash just like predicts the movements as they dodge. Mash just like, grabs them, and grabs their wand, defeats them. I wasn't really sweating. I was expecting Mash to win, of course, because, he's the overpowered main character. He'll find a way to win no matter what. So that was cool. Next part of the Divine Visionary exam continues, I guess. Except Innocent Zero comes in. Yes, we get reports. It's the real dude. It's the leader. Kind of like a dude wearing a hoodie, so we don't really see his whole face, but the crazy thing. So one, he has time powers. So he stops time with his ability. Everyone in the arena is frozen, even Mash. So yeah, we got a JoJo villain here. Also, after that, he reveals that he is Mash's dad. That's kind of crazy. I don't think he's the real dad. Maybe Mash was an experiment. But yeah, he wants to kind of absorb Mash, maybe take his power for himself. So yeah, it looks pretty bad. But then we see the headmaster. He's actually awake. He's like immune to the time stop. So then he faces off against Innocent Zero as the episode ends. So I guess that's cool. We'll see what's going to happen. But yeah, cool setups. Okay, so for the Apothecary Diaries episode 20, cool episode. Last week was insane. It felt like a climax. And yeah, we don't know why like Jinshi was being targeted, but now we got to find out why. So yeah, Mao kind of tells her ideas like on this was a big conspiracy. It was all set up by this girl Frieren. So then they go kind of track her down. But then it looks like Frieren kind of killed herself with poison. Also, Mao is super curious now because she didn't really expect Frieren to do all of this herself, which I don't think she did either. Like, I thought Lockon was part of it as well. But yeah, like, we don't know. Like, it could be anybody. But it looks like Swear is, like, the main culprit. She kind of stole the tools, made a copy. Everyone that, like, knew something got murdered. So now Swear is their only lead. But yeah, it looks like she died from drinking poison. But then Mao, like, investigates the coffin that she's in because they're going to burn her body and realizes that her body has been swapped out. So it looks like Swear kind of drank, like, this, like, fake poison that kills you but then revives you after, made from, like, morning glories or something. So yeah, I guess that's kind of interesting. I have no idea where this plot is going, but yeah, hopefully Mao's okay. Like she seems to be putting herself in a lot of danger. Also, after that, we kind of like go back into familiar territory. We see like the head consort coming in, so it looks like Yokio is pregnant again. So yeah, she had the daughter, maybe there's another one. So Mao kind of like goes, takes care of her, kind of checks it out. They can't really confirm anything, but yeah, I guess that's cool. The Emperor's getting busy. We see also 2 of the Emperor's consorts. He doesn't really see too much. He's not into Lishu, so he leaves her alone. And then there's like also the new consort who's the daughter of like this important like high-ranking politician or something. So that the Emperor does not want to get involved with her either. So he barely sees her. So yeah, I guess he's spending most of the time with Gyokyo. So yeah, the story continues this kind of like murder conspiracy plot line. We don't really know what's happening, but yeah, Mao's alive. But yeah, a lot more crazy shit might happen in the future. Alright, so for The Dangers in My Heart, season 2, episode 8, very cute episode. Every episode's so chill, very fun to watch. Yeah, this one no different. It's kind of crazy because it's Kyotaro's birthday. So then Yamada comes in to celebrate. She didn't really know until last minute. And then, like, we see the dad come in, Kyotaro's dad, and then and then kind of invites her, and then she actually stays over, which is kind of crazy, bro, with this escalation. So Yamada's very into Kyotaro. She kind of calls him Kyo. So a very chill relationship. The family is all in, although Yamada kind of keeps it secret from her side. And then yeah, they talk late at night. Yamada's kind of sleeping in the living room. Kyotaro kind of like gives her a blanket. They were doing the trope where he was like looking at her sleeping, and then like, oh, is he gonna kiss her while she's sleeping? No, this dude practices consent, so he just like puts a blanket over her. Although Yamada was awake, so she was kind of like disappointed. She wanted something to happen. But yeah, cute episode. They kind of still talk to each other about their insecurities, hug each other, take care of each other. So it's all cool. Very natural progression. Feels so wholesome. So yeah, I love watching this every week. Okay, so for Delicious in a Dungeon, episode 8. Damn, we get some backstory on the older sister. Very cute. Because she seemed to be built up as like very strong and like the anchor in this dungeon. She helped everybody. Very positive. She took care of all the spirits and undead as well. She really loved them. So yeah, we see Fallen. But then we see that she also went to magic school with Marcel. So yeah, that's where her and Marcel kind of met up. And then we realized that like she was exploring the dungeon on her own because there were like a lot of spirits there. That's where she kind of like harnessed their powers. And then Marcel kind of like got curious. So she followed her. And then yeah, Marcel's like very scared because it's the dungeon. But then Fallen loved to explore. She's very cute, very tired as well. I want to see more of Fallen because she seems to be built up so well. We gotta stop eating this food, hurry our asses up and save her. Also after that, we see like this kind of like water spirit. It's called an Undine. It starts attacking everybody. Marcel gets injured a lot, so she kind of fights it off, but then runs away with like big injuries, so they camp out. So yeah, also after that, if you're camping out, might as well eat more food. So the only food they have on them right now is the kelpie meat. So yeah, they didn't eat it last week, they're eating it this time. And they're doing it barbecue style, very nice. So they just like grilled meat out here, it looks really good. They might be attracting other people, other adventurers, so yeah, that's kind of funny. So it looks like it tastes good, and then hopefully Marcel gets healed up, and then they kind of continue their journey. Okay, so for Chain Soldier episode 8, insanely hot episode. Tanka's out here being so aggressive. She wants to be Yuki's girlfriend. She doesn't want to like have him be the slave. She just wants a relationship with him. And we get a rationale because she's busy training. She's like being a commander. She doesn't really have time for a personal life. Okay, why don't I just steal your man? He's very dependable. He's right there. So yeah, easy pick for me. However, him and Kyoka do have the connection, so he's very reluctant. But then yeah, Tanka's just like so aggressive. She has teleportation magic. So she just like goes into his room while he's not expecting it. She like kind of rips his shirt off and then like makes out with him and everything. So that he's basically very powerless to stop this. But then yeah, people like barge into his room and then she gets in trouble. They're like, don't use your powers for personal reasons. You're not supposed to do that. So yeah, Tanka's still not giving up. But yeah, still a funny scene. Also after that, we're kind of testing Yuki's power now because it seems like everyone else can use it. So depending on who the rider is for Yuki, his slave power will change. So yeah, we see Nei. She's like the short girl with pink hair. She has like scouting powers, so she can like sense who's around her. But yeah, now Yuki can also have scouting powers when they're together. He transforms into like this kind of like white pink robot form, and then he's able to see through things. So yeah, I guess that's cool. So that's kind of funny, but leaves more room for like other girls to kind of share Yuki. We see like the big tall girl Shushu. She wants to also use Yuki's ability, but the problem is they're not really compatible. She just grows really big. He doesn't like have that power. He's just like stronger but slower. So all of that is interesting. We see like more villains coming through. We see Tanka being aggressive. He doesn't want to give up. So yeah, very hot episode. Very funny progression, good action as we kind of like continue the anime. Alright, enough from gushing over Magical Girls episode 8. So we see a new villain group coming in. Phaser wants to fight him, but they seem to be strong. They have like a lot of numbers. Their powers aren't that crazy. Like one girl grows really big. Some of the other girls can control things. One of the girls is like an idol, so she uses her songs to attack. But yeah, the leader is pretty evil, and she wants to rule the world. So I guess it's up to Phaser to stop them, even though she's the villain. Now she has to like stop these villains from attacking her because they don't really want world domination. Phaser's group. They just want to like sexually assault the magical girls. That's pretty funny. We see actual villains here. And after they kind of like overwhelm Phaser and her team, they kind of defeat them. Phaser kind of tanks like this explosion. She's a bit injured, but then she's able to escape with her squad. We also see Azure from last week. She got, mind broken. Now she wants to get stronger, so she's training with all the other magical girls. I mean, this is what I want to see. I want to see the girls get stronger. So hopefully the training pays off. We see one of the villain girls. She's like the idol. She faces off against some of Phaser's team. But they kind of like run away and hide against her. So yeah, Phaser's squad are really good at running away. And then she gets punished actually for not capturing them. So we see the leader is really sadistic. She's like, strip off all your clothes. She like chokes her with this whip. And yeah, it was like very sad. So yeah, I guess this leader is bad news. We gotta defeat her. So I mean, this is like an early setup, but it seems like Phaser faces off against the leader. Maybe for the finale, maybe for a future arc, we gotta see. But yeah, cool villains being set up. We'll see what's gonna happen next time. All right, now for Undead Unluck episode 20. I'll go over this kind of quickly, but we see the manga writer that can predict the future, Ano-un. So she's like very quirky, and then she wants to save Fuko and Andy because she can predict that they'll die in the future fighting against like the Autumn. But the thing is, Fuko and Andy will never give up. So even though they're like weak or outmatched, they'll still try to do their job, still fight. So then Ano is just like trying to stop and help them. We see her power that she's using. Basically, anything she draws comes true. She can also like predict things. And then we see this fall Uma that they're fighting in this park. It summons a bunch of spiders. And then if it hits you, it turns you into books. And then they basically get overwhelmed. So Ano tries to help them. She cuts her own arm off and then replaces her arm with Andy's arm. So it looks like she can like create things, but she can only create one thing at a time. Also, her cutting her arm off was permanent, which I thought was insane. Like, why did you have to do that? Like, basically, she kind of like creates a plane, tries to fly a plane, and then it doesn't really affect the Uma, so they run away. So I guess Ano doesn't want Fuko to die, so they want them to get stronger. Also, yeah, I guess Andy doesn't really understand too much about him and Victor. Like, Victor's like really powerful, while Andy's like a bit nerfed. So they're like, why don't we research what Victor is? So Ano kind of like replaces her arm with the Uma fall arm that turns you into books and basically turns Andy into a book. So they can learn more about Victor. The problem is the books kind of stack up like to the sky. There's too much information. So yeah, I don't know where we're gonna read. I don't know where we're gonna start. So I guess we're learning more, some crazy shit happening. And yeah, that's it for Undead Unluck. And yeah, that's it for the shows this week. Thank you for watching. Kind of a quick week, but we're getting some escalations. Hopefully there's gonna be some like great finales coming through in the future. And yeah, that's it for week 7. Thank you for watching.